I talking about? Greetings, family, and welcome to another Dr. Mumbi spiritual show. My name is Dr. Mumbi Seraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray, family, that you are well in all your ways and that you're moving into living life very much on your own terms, family, because we have more power and ability and capability and support to do just that. And who would have ever known that World War III was such an individual and personalized war, where it's literally every man, every woman, and sadly every child fighting for their own soul, fighting to make it across a certain mental threshold to a higher, more sophisticated mental thinking so that they can escape the very barbaric mental reality of Babylon. I really do pray that you are making use of the resources, at the spiritual resources at your disposal. We acknowledge the ancestors in the wind. We're so honored that they are always with us. And special shout out to the sponsor of today's show, Beverly B Music family. We have been talking a lot about healing, and it's kind of intertwined to today's show. As you know, August was rough, and the astrological alignments that happened in August are not going to happen again for 14 years, which means whatever happened to you in August, family, was specifically significant to your journey. For many of us, it was the final battle from the enemies of our souls. And we are now in healing mode, which is where Beverly B comes in. And, you know, she's a sound healer as well as a seer. And she channels very powerful, angelic, and ancestral melodies that have the power to heal and realign you on levels that the current 3D medical society can't reach. They can't heal you there, family. And because they can't heal you there, you remain bound to the cycles of Babylon. And she has actually released this album called Ancient Sound Healing Therapy, Volume 1. And it includes the 3 hours of ancient melodies directly downloaded to Beverly from the ancient ones. Nature's sounds have also been added. And in these 3 hours, family, she also helps you to realign your primary energy centers. And you may know energy centers as chakras. So when you put those, you know, a lot of energy gets trapped because this is where our information comes in, and the different chakras. Maybe I can, if you're interested in that, I could always do that. I always feel like people may be more advanced or not really into that, but all these energy centers gather information, like your third eye gathers. Sometimes it can gather debris and muck from either the diet or just the energy and vibration of what you've been seeing. So when you put in the chakra healing songs, it kind of clears that up for you and reactivates it, which is what the powers of sound healing. Definitely, family, check out her website, beverlybmusic.com. And shout out to everyone who, you know, the few people who have gotten a therapy so far and gotten in touch with me with amazing results. So happy to hear that, family. And for all of you who have invested in this ancient healing sound therapy, trust me, it is something that will benefit even your family generations to come. So the thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is August, family, because August was rough. And what happened in August is we had a full moon at the beginning of August, and then we had a full moon to close out August. And so the energy was so intense, family. Venus was also in retrograde, which means instead of rising with the sun, it was rising with the moon, or whichever way that is. And August was heavy, family. August was heavy. There were some sneak attacks that came in. Some of us faced a death and resurrection moment, having already thought we've gone through so many death and resurrection moments that was it. But that was and I know we keep saying this, but that was really, family, one of the last times you will confront or be confronted by some of those darker narratives that have been trying to take you out for so long. this was the last, August was like a month where we were fighting, family, literally for our lives, but also to liberate ourselves. And if you're watching this show, it means you made it, but you may have some healing and restoration to do. Because for a lot of us, we thought that part was done. We were cruising into 7D reality, living our best lives, and then boom, something happened. And I've seen a lot of your emails and comments as well, where you said that some of you, a recurring enemy made their final show up. But family, what happened with two super moons in 1 month is not going to happen for the next 14 years. So August was a very, very powerful month in the story of our lives. And I'd really like to encourage you, family, to take a moment. Oh, there's a lizard. Hey, oh my God. Oh, shoot, family, there's a lizard. Ew. Oh my God. Anyway, it's gone into this box. Anyway, I'd really like to encourage you, family, to take a moment to look at what significant things happened to you in the month of August. Because some of the things that happened were very subtle. Some of them was even just you against your previous self. Wanting to see, hey, Errol, wanting to see if you would actually finally stand up for yourself, or if you'd actually finally make that leap. So a lot of us were also confronted by certain recurring habits or weaknesses or personalities that have always held us back and held us down, to see if we had really overcome, be it narcissistic characters, be it, insincere people, whatever the situation, to see, okay, Errol, come on, if we had overcome those particular dynamics, family. And I really hope that you made it through. And I think that's why I'm encouraging you to take the opportunity to write down the significant things, to just take those 5 minutes to look at what were you confronted by in August, family. And whatever you were confronted by, it should have actually shown you just how much you've grown. Some of us have had this reoccurring. I think I've talked about this in a previous episode. We acknowledge the ancestors in the wind. I talked about this in a previous video, family, where a lot of us, there were personalities. We're not waging war against flesh and blood, but against spiritual wickedness in high places. And a lot of us, there's a particular spirit that has been hounding us all our lives. Either it came through romantic partners, either it came through our parents, either it came through friends, but it was something where we had a reoccurring personality that would come into our lives, love bomb us, and then steal, kill. Sometimes it's not literally kill, but sometimes, there's a lot of diseases being passed around by these lower vibing beings, family, real talk. But sometimes it's just to kill our energy, to kill our motivation, to kill our dreams. And so these spiritual principalities have been following us all our lives. For some of us women, it's a particular kind of man who will come in and you think it's a divine connection, but it's still those, the F-boy kind of personality. There's many different types of people. And I feel like, once again, family, we were confronted. Errol, please stop licking me. Please stop licking me. Hey, stop it. Stop. We were confronted, family, by these personalities once again. And one thing I will say is there's a certain narcissistic energy that's been following me all my life. And one thing that I will say is that when it came around this time, the minute I recognized it, I cut cords and kept it moving, which for me shows, Errol, stop it, please. Sorry, family, the battery ran out. We are back. We were talking about August and how it was it was like a final battle kind of month. I'm sharing this, family, with you just as a word of encouragement, to ensure that, you just keep it moving, because I know that there were a lot of sneak attacks, a lot of negative surprises that happened in August, where we were confronted by either personalities or people or habits or whatever it may be that we thought we'd been done with and have been done with. But then again, they showed up. And this is just to encourage you, family, that this really, if you look at this situation was not the same, because you showed up different for this situation. And if you look, there's a story I did a couple of months ago where I talked about how, these spirits, that sometimes it's a spirit, or it's a narcissistic spirit, or it's a F-boy spirit, or an F-girl spirit, or a deceiving spirit, that has always been coming up. Like every relationship we're in, we feel like we're dating the same person. And we literally are, because we're dating the same spirit that is hopping from the person we're dating to the next person to the next person. But if you look, family, this situation was not the same as other situations because you showed up differently. And that's what I was saying before I took the unexpected break. Is that even for me, family, I encountered that spirit that I was telling you I encountered in March that I had to shut down. I encountered it again in August. And trust me, I showed up different for myself. Immediately, I recognized it, I cut it off and kept it pushing. And what I noticed this time around is that there was no residue thinking of that person or of that spirit, or wondering what was their agenda, what was this, what was that. So that means that there's less of that connection, that I am able now, even when I am confronted by hidden enemies, to keep a lot of my energy to myself, and so they end up with nothing. And I am able to bounce back and keep it pushing. And one of the things I've learned, family, is that the healing and the ascension that you have done, the growth that you have been experiencing, is not so you can become some saint that never does no wrong, that never makes any mistakes. No, because we're spiritual beings in this human life, which has so many, it's one of the most complicated lives to live as an actual spiritual being. And so we are bound to, and the enemies of our souls, this is their world as our world comes in. We acknowledge the ancestors in the wind, family, as always. And so for you, it's not so much to never make a mistake again, but it's about bouncing back when you realize that you've taken the wrong path, coming back to center as quickly as possible. When something pulls you too much into anger, come back into balance as quickly as possible. That's actually the tool that will save you, family. Because you can't say that you won't encounter those negative triggers, those negative, spiritual wickedness in high places, those negative principalities that have been the enemies of your soul. It's not that you won't encounter them in the future, but you are a totally different being now. And when they encounter you, you're not the same. And so instead of them snatching up your soul, you snatch up their soul, even without wanting, and you keep it pushing. I think a lot of you also recognize that you are very highly protected, and that your protection has changed since the last time you met this particular energy in your life. Let me know if this is making sense in the comments below. I know at least one or two people are connecting or resonating with this, then this is definitely a message for you. You will realize that somehow there is more energetic power and energetic force and energetic security around you. It is not business as usual. And so, family, don't lose hope, don't lose energy, don't think, oh my God, we're always going to be fighting these battles. No. Look at how you've grown. Look at how even your survival family. There's things that happened to some of you in August that if it was the previous you or even a few months or a year or two ago, it would have messed you up for months. For the rest of the year, you'd have been done. But you were able to bounce back in 24 hours and keep it moving. So your level of resilience is also building. Because there will come a time, family, where we will no longer be a vibrational match for the negative experiences in our lives. But for now, we're still in that duality where they may creep in. But we just have to know how to identify them, shut them down, and keep it pushing. And so just know, family, whatever you went through, a lot of the enemies of our souls, the witches, the covens, even the powers that be, the religious organizations, the priests, all of them, they use a lot of moon magic. They've used a lot of moon magic which is like the dark or hidden feminine energy, to keep a lot of you oppressed, suppressed, distracted. And they had to launch just one last attack, even though it was like a death blow, like they are going to lose so much for doing that to you. But it's like they had to launch one last attack, family. Because the energy of the moon, which they've used for so long, will not be this potent again for the next 14 years. And that should be a source of relief for you. Because it means that the enemies of your souls will not have this kind of power and energetic backing behind them for the next 14 years. So they will not be able to come anywhere close to you like they did this particular time. You made it, family. And a beautiful world is unfolding. Remain mentally resilient. Remain emotionally focused and strong. And really keep a lot of the unnecessary chatter out of these, so that you can hear the true voices of your ancestors, of your God, of the Most High, and you can know the real direction that you need to be taking. Special shout out to Beverly B. Definitely check out her website, www.beverlybmusic.com. And if you are having issues with your health and healing, family, and you've tried everything, you may want to consider sound healing. It's absolutely profound. And she has released an album called Ancient Healing Sessions Volume 1, a direct, download from the ancient ones, which has special codes and keys to rebalance you, like they used to do in the ancient of days. Tuko pamoja.